Good evening. As you will have gathered, yesterday was a very exciting day in the House of Commons. Nobody knew what the result was going to be, and at the end of the day, the government was defeated by a single vote. Well, one is enough, one's a majority, and therefore today I've asked Her Majesty the Queen to dissolve this Parliament, and she has agreed to do so. A general election for a new Parliament will therefore now be held, and it will take place on Thursday, 3rd of May, 5 weeks from today. I dare say you know the government over which I've presided hasn't had a clear majority in the House of Commons at any time. Indeed, there hasn't been a similar period for 50 years. The Labour government has governed against considerable odds, rarely being absolutely certain whether the proposals we thought were necessary would be acceptable to enough of the other parties to give us a majority, and sometimes quite important decisions were overturned. But we went on, Britain, because Britain's been passing through the most difficult worldwide crisis of inflation and of unemployment for 40 years. And I believed it was our responsibility to do all that was humanly possible to protect our people in this situation and to rebuild our country's strength and prosperity. Now, it is fair, even for me to say, that Britain is emerging in a better condition. We have reduced the rate of inflation. During the last 12 months, unemployment has fallen by 100,000. Sterling is stronger once again. Our trading accounts with other countries are in much better balance. More money is being put into new plant and machinery, and it's on that the future jobs and future pay packets depend. I believe I can claim that the next Parliament will start from a far more secure basis than did this Parliament. But much, much more still has to be done. There can be no complacency or satisfaction yet about either prices or jobs, or about industrial relations, or the modernisation of our industries. Nor can we be complacent about Scottish devolution. I must say to Scotland in particular that I'm sorry that what I proposed last week hasn't been possible. We haven't solved that problem, but I say this to Scotland: a Labour government will find a solution in the next Parliament. But it's the two issues of prices and unemployment that are still vital. How best can we renew and redouble our efforts? These are overriding issues, because rising prices hit hardest at the family, the low-paid and the pensioners, and unemployment is the worst scourge of all. The best way to keep our prices down is to continue to keep our costs down. As for food prices, I'm quite convinced that we shall be able to make progress in ending some of the foolish and expensive aspects of the common market agricultural policy in the next Parliament. Now, I shall ask the nation to set itself an ambitious objective: to cut price rises in half, to cut them to less than 5% in 3 years from now. We've more than halved inflation during the last 3 years, and we can do it again. And we shall all be better off if we do. Now, one question that will come up time after time in the next few weeks is this: will a sudden reversal of policy, a jerk in the entirely opposite direction, really do the trick? I want to say quite plainly that I do not believe there is any magic solution to these problems, and it would do great harm if the country was suddenly to go into reverse on the range of policies that have brought us through so far. Then there's another question: how can we ensure peace in industry and avoid the disruption that we've seen? I believe that cooperation and partnership, not confrontation, will serve us best. We should build on the new agreements that we have recently made with the TUC and with the hopeful new mechanism to give a fair and orderly pay deal, particularly to millions of low-paid workers through the new Independent Standing Commission. And this must be a concerted effort. All this involves both employers and workers, because our purpose is to achieve economic strength. For itself, yes, but so as to make life better. Better for individuals, better for families, better for those in need, better for all of us. The question you will have to consider and decide on is whether we risk tearing everything up to the roots, scrapping the programs that assist firms on which 1 million jobs depend, slashing spending that's needed for families and hospitals and schools, having an upheaval in the industry and with unions. The answer surely must be no. There are many changes ahead. The next Labour government will have to make them, but there are hopeful factors too. With the bonus we're now beginning to secure from North Sea oil, the next 5 years can give us a really good chance to make British industry prosper and for all of us to be able to enjoy better lives. Together, we've made good progress. We are emerging in a sound condition from the problems through which the world's been passing. You'll want to think about all these matters during the coming weeks. What we want is a society in which there is fairness, a society in which there is justice, a society in which there is fair play, where need, not greed, determines our approach, a society in which everyone can feel free to walk down our streets. Indeed, all our freedoms rest in the last resort on the right you'll be exercising on the 3rd of May, the right for you to choose the government you want to lead us into the 1980s. And I shall be asking you to vote for a Labour government. Good night.